Man, it is a beautiful Palm Sunday out here. A little windy, but just beautiful. Speaking of wind, I got a complaint. If you're one of my five faithful, you remember the fire scare, the wildfire scare that we had out here a couple years ago, and that was a set, controlled burn. Got out of hand and ended up destroying, I think, 15 homes, 14 homes. Well, a couple days ago, the local government, Northwest Florida Water something or another, water district, they set a controlled burn. I got the alert on my phone, and a few minutes later I got an alert from Hurlburt Field where I work. Hurlburt Field is an Air Force base, warning of high winds. And I thought, well, those two don't go together. And sure enough, the controlled burn got out of hand, and they had to evacuate some folks. Now, this was only about 7 miles from my house, and we were safe. The chances of it turning and traveling toward my house were small. But a little community called Dickerson City had to evacuate, and they got it, in hand by the next day. But that's not the point. I grew up here in this place. Growing up, forest fire was not something we ever even considered. But in the last 2 years, twice, we've had the actual danger of a wildfire. Well, we shouldn't call it a wildfire, because it wasn't wild, of a fire that started out as a controlled burn set by the local government. Not by an arsonist, not by a camper, not by somebody welding out in a pasture, but by my local government. And I've wrote a couple of angry emails to some local officials demanding answers, and I don't know if I'll get them. But I tell you what, when the fire danger comes from local government and not from accident or malicious intent, it really makes you have to wonder who is in charge, who are making these decisions. It just really pissed me off. But that is not what this video is supposed to be about. It is week 6.5 for these chicks. Chicks. They don't look like chicks much anymore, do they? And I wish I'd set up to butcher them this week, because yesterday I noticed one of them going lame, and I hate that. But these white chickens get so big so quick that their joints or something like that just can't keep up. And I don't know which one it is. They're all, when you see their legs played out like that, they're just stretching their legs. That's all they're doing. But I got to tell you, these guys are huge. And to think that they're only six weeks and a few days old. So I'm probably going to take off from work later this week and butcher. I'm going to probably butcher in two separate days. Now the brown ones, they aren't that big. And they also are much healthier. They walk around, they do things that chickens are supposed to do. They don't just sit and eat. And I tell you what, I'm kind of falling in love with them. God bless them. These white chickens have just been bred to do nothing but sit and eat and drink and grow. And while that's wonderful for me, for the grower, something bothers me about it. So I'm really thinking I might go with brown chickens next year. So let's talk about hits and misses. The first hit has been St. John's idea. That roller, and you can see I've added a second piece to it, has just been a great idea. That being said, even with it, these white chickens are getting so big, it's really getting hard to move the, look at them go. They're just such pigs. It's really getting hard to move the tractor because they're just so lazy and big. Another real hit has been going to these waterers. Uh, it really has been a lot easier to replenish their water. In the past, I've had the kind where you have to take it apart and you turn it upside down and you feel it's just been a mess. And I really like this system a lot better. The miss has been really just having this tractor the way it is. I I thought that four wheels were going to be better. Let me go outside here so you can see what I'm talking about. I moved to four wheels this year. Last year, I only had two wheels, but I had installed a little device off of a lawnmower so that I could like crank the wheels down and get a little bit of height. Well, that thing wore out. So I just put four wheels on. I thought it would roll pretty good. And I'm on some kind of rough terrain, but it just doesn't move that easily. I think it may actually move harder than it did. So I'm not there yet on the travel system, the movement system. I mean, I love the tractor. I love how it works. I love moving them every day, twice a day, giving them fresh grass and flowers to chew on, as well as the food that I feed them. But something's got to be different. I've got to figure out a better system, and I may very well have to redesign the tractor to make it work better. I'm just not sure. But what I think we're going to do is, at least right now, my thinking is that I'm going to butcher the 22 or so white chickens in 2 separate days. 11 one day, 11 the next day. I'm really thinking about keeping the brown chickens around for a few weeks and letting them grow some more. I mean, I knew going in that they don't get big as fast, and I don't know if they're going to get as big as the white ones, but they're just not to where they need to be, and they're a treat. I'm not minding having them, so I think I might do that. But that's the update on the meat chicken saga for this year. And I tell you what, if you have the wherewithal to do chickens, there's no easier animal to raise. And if you are able to grow your own meat chickens, I highly recommend it. When I'm done here, I'm going to have the next year's worth of chicken in the freezer. And I'm going to know where these chickens came from, what they ate, how they were treated while they were alive, how they were butchered, and it's just I'm not saying it's cheaper. If anything, it's break even. If anything, although the prices are going up, and that may not be true soon. It may end up being cheaper. But right now, I'm just saying that there's a sense of peace and a sense of well-being to knowing where the meat's coming from. Hey, thanks for watching.